Hello and welcome. This is Darius Barazandeh, host of the U.S. Revolution. And if you're about to watch this amazing session that we did, then you're part of a group of humans on this planet who are ascending and moving into a higher frequency. You're not here by accident, and I'd like to offer you a special gift that will help you to adjust to some of these frequencies, plug in even deeper, and it's an energy activation MP3 that will double the power of your energy field in less than 57 seconds. It's absolutely free, and it's the first link in the description down below, but it's also going to let you get to hear calls like this one live and get daily help from healers, teachers, and masters all over the world. It's absolutely free, and it's part of what we're doing every day at U-Auth Revolution. So if you feel called in your heart, you can click the link down below, and the special session that you wanted to watch and experience will start right now.
I am unusually excited today because I have one of my friends and one of the most powerful and most popular guests and transformationalists on the U.S. Revolution, someone who burst onto the scene and literally has absolutely changed the world of transformation in a huge way. And he needs no introduction, but his name is Mashhur Anam, and he is here to help us to bridge to the fifth dimension and actually do that by merging science, technology, and spirituality to redefine your existence. I want to introduce Mashhur. Let's send a huge amount of love and appreciation. I'm already getting tongue-tied. I'm so excited. On the count of three, 1, 2, 3, to Mashhur Anam. Mashhur, welcome to the U.S. Revolution Ascension 2012.
Thank you, Darius, and thanks everyone for being on the call. You make a huge difference. You make a huge difference for raising the collective consciousness of the planet, for humanity, for all animals, all life on Earth. So thank you for being here, and congratulate yourself, because a lot of people on the planet are suffering, and those of you who know that we can rise above that density, we can rise above those suffering, we can create our solutions and redesign our life, you're all here. So, and thank you, Darius, for creating this vision, doing this every single day for months after months after months, and it's awesome. So thank you all.
Well, I love what you said, Mashhur, about rising above some of the struggle and the challenges. And you recently, being in the New York area, you had this giant, almost biblical-sized storm coming at you. And you told me on the little moment we had that you did something in your area to actually shield yourself. I want to hear a little bit about that, because it's a very key piece about really that the reality that you really create your reality. Tell me about what you did.
Sure. See, it is important to understand that we create our reality, and our inner harmony projects our outer harmony, and our inner disharmony would reflect that on the planet. So just because all of these things are going on, that means so many of us are not in harmony, and we need to change that. So see, we don't want to go against nature. We want to work with nature. So when disasters happen, here's what happens really. Your lower chakras open up more. The chakras below your feet, your root chakra, they get stimulated by natural disasters. It's also a cleansing process for the planet. When the planet sees that people are not going where they are supposed to go, or we're not moving fast enough, it's like giving us a kick in the butt, basically. And even though we have lives lost sometimes, and we have powers, we live without power, but it also helps us in the long run, because the planet knows better than us. So one thing I was doing was, certainly those of you who have the Harmonic Shield and work with the holographic tools and technology, you have placed the shield around your home, around your property, around your neighborhood, around your loved ones. So I've done all of that. I've done the shield for every single one of these states. But what I have also done is, this is interesting, because I connected all people, not only from this country, but humanity as a whole, to the eye of the storm. So as people's lower chakras were opening up, I was connecting their density and all their issues, so that the storm, this giant mega storm, could flush everything out of people. So that is huge. Whenever you have that opportunity, even though when it looks bad, even though when it looks maybe sometimes fearful. You don't know what's going to happen. But understand there is always a reason for everything, and you can connect instead of going into density. You can connect with nature. You can learn the lessons. You can rise above them, and then you can use nature to transform and harmonize yourself. So anytime you see any disharmony happening, whether it's in your own life or somewhere else, connect all of your issues with that disharmony, that chaos, that disaster, and let nature absorb all of those density. Let nature flush out everything from your system so that you can live in harmony. And thank nature. Whether it's a storm or snow, it doesn't matter. Nature knows better than us. Understand that. The universe knows better than us. So be thankful and look at the lessons. Look at what can you learn from there. What can you integrate so you can rise above those judgment and fear and density. So that is important.
Mm. And, what was interesting you were telling me was that the area that you were in, I guess because your energy was fairly pure, was your house was not affected, substantially at all, even though you were in an area that, could have been totally decimated. So this is very powerful. I just want everyone to kind of get what we're talking about here really is almost like the holographic blueprint or the algorithm of the universe, and everything is going to flow from some of these truths. So maybe let's get started. When people look at your work, Mashhur, and I know it's very unique, how is it different than maybe what they've been exposed to before? Maybe how is it different than anything else that maybe the whole planet has ever been exposed to?
See, we have been using many systems for thousands and thousands or maybe tens of thousands of years. And it has been great tools, great modalities, great methods, great teachings, great teachers. However, it's almost like using a very old software. It's almost like using Windows 3.1 now when you can be using, Windows 7, 8, 10, or, anything else that comes up. You can be using iPhones instead of notepads. So technology changes, and we need to keep up with that. So now technology of the universe is also changing. Instead of staying in three-dimensional world, we need to move beyond three-dimension and fourth dimension, fourth being the time. So we are all talking about moving to fifth dimension. However, it's kind of difficult to do that by using three-dimensional tools. So we need to use fifth-dimensional tools and beyond. And that's what this is. See, if you don't like your life, if you don't like something about who you are or what you have been doing, let's say you're playing a DVD and you're watching a movie on your TV that's called My Life, and you don't like it. Now you put, using traditional methods and modalities and teachings, you put flowers around your TV, you decorate the space, you create a nice altar, and put fragrances so that it looks good, smells good, even though that movie you may think that's a horror movie that's playing. So using the holographic tools, what you do is you move beyond this projection and you actually go to the source. In that case, the DVD that's creating the movie, the DVD that's projecting the movie. So you actually go beyond this 3D, 4D reality, and you can change the DVD called My Life. You can play a different DVD. So your movie is different now. It's no longer a horror movie. So that's the main difference. Instead of working with the external outcome, you are working with what is creating your projections. All the equations, algorithms, information, cosmic frequencies, vibration, everything that exists, sacred geometry. You're working with all of those tools that created all possibilities for us. So you can rise above this density, and you're no longer limited to our 3D space-time. So transformation can be instantaneous. The only part we mainly need to work with is our mapping for our brain. Because for most of us, we give into fear, judgment. We think about all the things that happened that we did not like. We connect in with all these morphic fields called, I can't do it, or things are not going great for me, or nothing works for me. So many people are stuck there. And a lot of people take advantage of these morphic fields of fear to promote their products and services. Unfortunately, Darius, I've seen teachers who are doing great things, but they're talking about fear, how all things are going to be bad, as opposed to what you are doing, bringing in pure love for the planet. So it is important for us to rise above those and be in our heart space.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the morphic fields, because as we move into 2012, I mean, there's a lot of different morphic fields going on. We had a presidential election. There's morphic fields about that. There's morphic fields the mainstream media. There's morphic fields about beliefs that maybe we've had or that our parents had. Tell me, what, for people that are here that don't know, what is a morphic field, and why is it so vital that we're aware of the fields that we connect to, but also, Mashhur, that we're able to have the tools to disengage from a field and then, in essence, re-engage into another field or the field of our choice?
Yes, that is important. See, morphic field, I believe the term was developed by Rupert Sheldrake, who's a physicist. And if you look up Wikipedia or dictionary or online resources, you can find more information about morphic field. But however, the basic of morphic field is it's a collective field of consciousness. These are fields that are held by millions and millions, sometimes billions of people. For example, we just had an election, and if I say the Democratic Party, some of you will align. If I say the Republican Party, some of you will align. The very first thought that shows up for you is the morphic field that you are connected into. So if you are deeply connected into the Democratic morphic field, you're going to like everything about the Democrats or most things about them and not like the Republicans, or vice versa. The same way, if I say green tea, things that pop up in your mind first, those are the morphic fields you're connected into. So it is important for us to understand, and it is important because most of us are connected to a lot of negative morphic fields or morphic fields that hold density. So we want to disconnect from those and connect with other morphic fields that are beneficial for us. Once we start to understand that, yes, a lot of our reality is created by these fields because we are becoming one with millions of people who think in a certain way, and we are being affected by that. So we want to disconnect from all the fields that are not working. Think about your life. Any pattern that you see that is repeating, look at what's happening and look at what are the possible morphic fields of consciousness that you are connected into. And you want to disconnect from those so that it is easier for you to make a shift and a transformation.
Wow. One person just wrote in, Catherine, she said, I was in the path of a tornado, and while in my hiding place, I was guided to surround my property with a holographic capsule, and it actually had no damage in my property, but all around me did. So I just wanted to share that, not saying that it's a guarantee, but this is pretty interesting. So what I want to do now is, for people that are having challenges in their life, write in and tell me what's going on with you. And then I'd like to ask Mashhur what morphic field they may be tapping into. And so, for example, we have Shelley from Santa Cruz. She says, I need help with my health. I had breast cancer, and I want to get my health back. I seem to be stuck in a state of not healing. So for someone like Shelley, or for Shelley particularly, what morphic fields might she be connected to? Can you read her energy, Mashhur, and kind of see? And then what would you recommend for her to disengage from that and really transform her life?
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing, though. We can all do that together. And together with Shelley, let's take a look at what she wrote. She cannot heal. So that's a connection. Millions and millions and millions of people around the planet think I cannot heal from this because pharmaceutical companies create very strong morphic fields about those so that they can sell medicine. Medicine is great, but you need to know when it's appropriate and when it's not, because you don't want to become somebody who just pops in a pill every night. So can disconnect from the morphic field of I cannot heal, nothing works for me. Disconnect from the morphic field of cancer. See, if you search online for Google videos, there's a video I have seen where Greg Braden did a presentation in Milan where he showed a medicine-less clinic in China. It was from a number of years ago, where 3 practitioners were chanting, and you can see using the ultrasonic devices that live, online, you could see that the tumor disappeared in under 3 minutes.
Wow.
Find out about that video. You can, I'm sure you can find it. It's on YouTube. Connect yourself with the morphic field of those 3 practitioners who have healed many, 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 many cases like that. So it doesn't have to be something scary. First of all, rise above judgment, rise above being angry or being scared. Look at what lessons do you need to learn from this cancer, these cells, this tumor. Connect with these vibrations. Ask, I don't know, what is it that you want me to learn? Give me the lessons so I can integrate that so I don't have to have these symptoms. So disconnect from all of these and connect with the Qigong masters, the healers, the yogis, all the practitioners who have had great success in healing similar issues. Connect with their morphic field.
And literally with the tools you've taught people, it's actually like you plug into their energy sense or their energetic field and bring in that wisdom and that power. Okay, so here's what I want to look at. We've got another person who wrote in, I'm having troubles with finance. My business is not moving and I can't find a job. Now there's a lot in that statement, but Mashhur, what do you feel or see going on there?
Okay, so can't find a job. There are millions, tens of millions of people or hundreds of millions of people around the planet that are connected into that morphic field. Your business is going down. There's a lot of fear, anger, judgment. Market is collapsing. So many things are happening. Countries are collapsing. We need to disconnect from all of those fear. We need to disconnect from all these fear-based societies, all these fear-based systems. See, in the last program, there are a number of tools that I offer. One is the holographic vision board, which is very good for you to put your goals and visions, and it will automatically pull up all the morphic field connections. Disconnect using the vision board. Use the rings of harmony around yourself, all of your issues, all of your densities, not only for this lifetime, but do it for your ancestors, so you don't carry ancestral patterns. Do it for your other lifetimes or timelines, so you don't create or you don't live in any disharmony because something happened somewhere else. So once you use these tools, it's easier for you to transform them. Then use it for your bank accounts. Bring in the sunlight to your bank accounts. The Restore Inner Abundance program, that's a 5th dimensional program. It gradually changes your abundance vibration to 5th dimensional vibration. Because abundance is not only money. That's why I don't really talk about money. I talk about abundance, and finances is only a part of that. Because you need your health, you need your relationship, you need your traveling, fun, joy, recreation, money, everything together. That's abundance. So start to disconnect from all these fears. If you're watching TV and you're watching what's happening in the market, you would want to disconnect yourself from those. If something really weird is going to happen, you're going to find out from somebody else. So disconnect from all these people, places, timelines, morphic fields that are not beneficial for you. And start to connect with morphic fields of people or companies that are beneficial. If you like iPhones, that's a great morphic field of abundance. Doesn't matter what the economy is like. People are crazy about iPhones. So if you like iPhones, connect or plug in to the morphic field of iPhones to receive abundance. Now, if you like Android, then connect with their morphic field. Right? So, disconnect yourself from things that are not working then use the holographic tools, the rings of harmony, the vision board, to transform lives, and then connect with other options, other possibilities.
I want to ask this question. I mean, that is incredible, but how can working with the sun, Maya, and other stars actually increase our ability to manifest? Because I've noticed what you've been doing recently is literally connecting people to some of these fifth-dimensional bridges, such as the solar matrix and the Maya matrix and the Alcyon matrix. So tell me about all of that, because this is completely new. I've never, ever seen this before.
Yeah, see, for a number of months, people, those of us who have been working on personal development and consciousness development, we are gradually finding out about the universe, that we are not disconnected. We are all connected. And through our soul's journey, we made many stops. And there are some vibrations that we need to integrate or incorporate within us so that we can move fully into this fifth dimensional reality, or we can start this process of ascension. Now, I work with the sun all the time because see, the sun helps us to be neutral and non-judgmental. Harmonic Shield is a huge part of that. However, when you step into the sun, you step into neutrality and non-judgment, because whether you're a good person or a bad person, doesn't matter. How you classify yourself, you receive sunlight from the sun. Doesn't matter where you live on the planet. As long as there is no cloud, you will receive sunlight. The sun does not judge. So you want to move more into that vibration of neutrality and non-judgment. So when you do that, your manifestation is very, very fast. That's how it's really important, and that's how it can be done very fast. Because, see, again, when you are in 3D, when you're limited to 3D, you're constrained by many of our 3D, 4D space-time. If you remember the movie Matrix, which came out, I believe, in the late 90s, that movie started to open up possibilities for people. And one of the things Oracle said to Neo is that most things, most rules can be broken, some can be bent. But for that, you need to rise above our normal 3D space-time. So sometimes, or in most cases, I take people into the sun, march with the consciousness of the sun, and from that level of consciousness, we look back and we look at our life. We look at the disharmonies. And just because we notice from that level of consciousness, when you really get into that, your life on earth can transform almost instantaneously. The only limitation is your mapping that you have for your brain, which would say, oh, this is the issue, that is the issue. So when you disconnect from them and when you keep repeating the process over and over again, you really move into that neutral space for my manifestation is instantaneous.
Okay. I want to take another question that's coming in from someone. So, oh my gosh, we got another 40 literally just come in. Wow. Okay, thank you for bringing Mashhur back. I have done some of his work, which is just amazing, and I want to manifest more and more. Okay, there's not really a question there. Okay, let's see. Wow, one person said, I've used the rings of harmony around my checking account, and out of the blue, I received 2 checks, and my cash is literally growing out of thin air. Very, very cool. Okay, I need a question, guys. A lot of people just saying thank you for Mashhur. Okay, so here we've got a question coming in. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so Gary from Strongsville has a question. He's literally started a new job, and he's wondering about how some of these holographic tools, particularly in some of your newest work that you've put together, can help with abundance. So, for example, how can connecting with and integrating information from some of these other stars actually help us in the abundant state and vibration?
Well, so here's what you want to do. First of all, integrate the restore inner abundance template that I have brought forward last time. However, these new tools are very powerful because now we are going more into a fifth dimensional vibration, and the sun's consciousness, the consciousness of Maya, Asion, and other stellar objects, they bring us different information. The sun helps us to be in neutrality, non-judgment. It opens up our 12 chakras. We want to start from living from 12 chakras. Now, Maya, on the other hand, gives us guidance, our next steps. And Asion actually gives us our purpose, our vision, our long-term goals. A lot of people on the planet are confused now. They don't know what to do, and a lot of people are making career changes, and Maya and Asion's energy is important. So when you start to work with this tool, you are not limited through 3D anymore. So your abundance vibration changes. Your thought process about abundance changes. You know, it doesn't become what can I do or how much can I make, but it becomes who I am, who I truly am, what difference can I make, what is my vision, my purpose, how can I live in harmony, how can I project more harmony. So your thought process changes. So that's why when you want to move into these higher planes and higher level of consciousness, we want to integrate these vibrations from these beings, from these stars, because they hold our history. They hold information about our origin, our truth, and our abundance, our true nature. So that's what we want to unlock. Because, see, abundance is a buzzword, fifth dimension, essential. They're all buzzwords, and everybody's using them a lot of times without understanding the process. Ascension is a process. Moving into fifth dimension or higher planes, these are processes. So we need to, step by step, gradually open up and release our densities, and then open our fields up for higher vibration. For all these stellar consciousnesses, we want to absorb their information so that we can rewrite our life. We can redesign our matrix. So that's why they're important.
Well, this rewriting our life, that really struck a chord with me, and I know we're getting a lot of people writing in, like Gail, who's talking about a decade-long battle with overeating. Bless you, Gail. And Karen, who lost some property, and Renata, who had some health problems, and Jerry, who had a situation at 9 months old that's been plaguing him energetically. For all of these people that are dealing with these situations, when we plug into this fifth dimensional energy, do we then literally unplug from that morphic field because we were going so high into another energy level?
Well, when we are ready, transformation can be instantaneous. You know, people's healing can be instantaneous. Because and that's why I talk about neutrality and non-judgment, when we really integrate the lessons and there is nothing we need to learn from the issues we are facing, and we can rise above them, instead of being stuck in fear, you know, we really open up to other planes from where transformation can happen instantaneously. And that's what I want to take people. People do not have to depend on anybody else outside of them because, you know, everybody has the tools now. You can work with these consciousness and you can transform your life. Because, see, sun does not need help. Sun does not need counseling. Maya does not need counseling. Orion does not need counseling. And we are all a part of these beings. We are all extensions of these beings. And we are experiencing density. And the reason we are going through this is so that we can rise above all judgment and we can rise to that level of consciousness. Again, we can merge ourselves with them. So that's why when we start to bring in their vibration into our chakras, into our DNAs, and our healing can be instantaneous. Our abundance matrix can change overnight. So, and if the thing is, the other point I want to make is the transformation needs to be fun. It's not dense energy. We're not going into fear, judgment. End of 2012 and beyond, It's not about all the destructions. It's about a new possibility, a new planet where everybody is in harmony. So we want to make that shift, preserving harmony, and we want to have fun in the process.
I agree, and I know so many people want that. I'm wondering if what I'm feeling. Can you take a read of the energy of the group? Because we've got tons of people on, and then maybe we can do a little bit of just clearing work or some work on people here, just to get another perspective on what's possible for them. Because I feel there's a lot of people have brought their hopes and possibilities onto this call, and I want to feed them with what is possible. Can you get a read of the people here today?
Yeah, absolutely. Maya jumps up right away. It's like, our next step. What is my next step? What is my next goal? What do I do now? I don't know. All the confusion, all the disharmony, we can rise above them. So how about we do a little processing?
I'd love it.
All right. So let's close our eyes, everyone. Take a deep breath and let go. I'm going to reactivate the Harmonic Shield for everyone in the group. All of you who are listening to the call live and all of you who will be listening to the recording, you're all included. And I'm going to place everyone in a group Harmonic Shield. And as a group, first let's go into the sun. Let's go into the center of our sun. I'm going to flush everyone's energy field with pure light. Release all density, judgment, fear, anger, guilt, shame, betrayal. I'm also going to call in the rings of harmony for everyone. Let's do some deep cleansing. Flush out all density. Let's look at the general patterns of the group. All morphic field connections that are not for your highest benefit, let these show up, and let's disconnect them all. Let's bring in the 12 rays of the sun through our 12 chakras. And I'm going to open up your chakras a little bit more. This way you can flush out some more of that density that you're holding on to. Before we integrate Maya, we need to get to a state so that we can absorb Maya's light. It is much stronger than our sun. Gently keep breathing in and out. Now as a group, let's go to Maya. And let's enter Maya's field of consciousness. Those of you who can feel and who can notice more, you would know that immediately the vibration changes. It's a stronger energy. Now let's gently bring light from Maya. Let's ask for guidance. All who are confused, who don't know what is the next step, what is right, where they should go, what they should do, how they should live our lives, what changes we would want to make. Let's absorb that information and energy from Maya. I'm going to gently bring Maya's energy through your field and through your chakras. You will only receive what you can handle at the moment. Breathe in the light from Maya. Breathe in that light with every cell of your body. And breathe out density, judgment, fear, lack. Breathe in that light. Breathe out disharmony. Now breathe in Maya's light through your chakras, through your organ. Maya holds a very strong healing light for us. Let your body heal, regenerate, return to youth and vitality. I'm also going to bring in a pinch of ASEAN's light through your chakras so that you can align with your goals and visions, your long-term plans, your soul contracts. Just a pinch of that light, integrate into your chakras. As you start to work with these beings, you start to open up and leave from a 12 chakra system instead of 7. Let's take a couple more deep breaths in and out. Let's receive Maya's light into our hearts. Breathe in through your hearts. Breathe in Maya's light. Let it expand into your entire being, your physical, etheric, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Now, as a group, let's journey back to our normal space-time and come back to the present moment. Just rub your hands together, knowing that your prayers, your wishes, your intentions have been answered. And gently open your eyes.
Wow. I'm going to let everybody slowly come back. I want to hear Oh wow, what you experienced. I have done so much intention work, obviously, I mean every day on these calls, but there was something about this that was so far beyond in terms of just expansiveness. I've never gone out that far. And I felt myself actually so much more, not only bigger, but also receiving so much light that I'm having a very difficult time thinking about anything negative, thinking about any challenges. It's almost as if I'm beyond that field. I can't go back to it. I'm sure, is that kind of what can happen when we plug into this? I mean, because it feels very much like I'm almost I'm operating in another matrix or beyond the matrix.
Exactly. It is so awesome that you mentioned that. That's where we want to go. Because when you are merged into these consciousnesses, at one point you may want to look at your life and you may want to think that, you know what, these things are in disharmony, but the personality needs to experience that so I can rise above. You may not even judge yourself because you open up other possibilities. See, I just brought in a little bit of light from Maya. We did not go to the center of the sun. We were at the edge. And Maya's energy is very, very strong. I get like a buzz feeling all over me. It's almost like I get electrocuted if I go, any further. So once you start to work with these beings, see, our star, our sun is the basic. That's our beginning. Then you move into other stellar consciousness. You move into Maya, then Ascion, then Orion, then the central sun. They are more and more and more powerful. And you start to literally open up alchemy into your life. When you get to Orion, things are so different. When you get to the central sun, things are so different. You become a part of the unified matrix. You can no longer think about race, religion, culture, gender, other differences. They will not make any sense anymore. Because when you start to operate from this level of consciousness, it's different. Your life automatically becomes harmonious. And that's where we want to go. That's why I bring in these tools. And it's interesting that it took me a while and a lot of work to integrate this information, and I could not do it on a sea level. I had to do a lot of this integration when I was 30,000 feet above sea level on a plane. I've been traveling recently, and my last trip, which was actually last week, going to Minneapolis, coming back from Minneapolis, it was all of this work. I started to integrate a lot of this information because they were in the higher plane. Still, they were in a higher realm. They were not at a sea level. I could not bring it down to that level. So that's what I'm bringing into these recordings, because the encoding was done at 30,000 feet above sea level. So your energy, the vibration that you get is pure. You start to work with these beings. You start to work with this level of consciousness. And you can redesign your life. It doesn't matter what Hollywood says or what the politicians say or what other people are saying about 2012 and our shift. You redesign your life. And when you hold that level of consciousness, not only you redesign your life, you do it for the planet. So that's why it is so important. It is really important to start to work with these beings because we want to be unlimited. We are unlimited beings. We know that, but we cannot be unlimited beings if we are stuck using three-dimensional methods, great methods, but they were developed thousands and thousands of years ago.
Wow.
Now it's our time to take the next step. And Maya...
Well, Mashhur, I want to just tell you what's coming in. I mean, we have people literally pretty astounding things coming in, and I encourage you to keep sending in. Regina said, thank you for what he just did. I zoned out until I rubbed my hands together. I need to be here for the replay. One for Rosa said, I feel much better now. All the fear is gone. I know that my financial deal will go through tonight, and this is interesting. She said, just before we closed our eyes, I got a call from the lawyer saying that our deal will close tonight. Thank you, Mashhur. It's very interesting. Another person said, I felt an intense shift in me. This was Birgitta from Sweden, and I've listened to every webcast, but she felt a huge shift on this one. Helene said this was the most amazing experience. Rosie from the UK said, I felt my energy expanding and like I was connecting to other places in light. A lot of people feeling incredible things. Another person said, I felt like I was a balloon being filled up. Why did you go a step further with some of these new tools and technologies? What prompted you to go to the next level? And then my question is, for some people, is this too much too soon? Because one person asked that. I think they really expanded so much. Or how do they sort of implement these technologies if maybe this is their first taste of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, for those people who have been using the holographic tools and programs for the last number of months, I brought them out through your show in July. Now, all of you may not have realized, but I'm preparing you for this. This is the next level. You have been using the holographic tools and programs to release shame, guilt, betrayal, other timelines, harmonizing them, harmonizing your ancestral, patterns. You have been doing a lot of work, rewriting and reprogramming your matrices. Now what do? This is the next step. You start to really open up and become one with the sun, become one with Maya. See, we just started to connect with Maya. It's just a pinch. We did not go all the way. We did not become one with Maya. We did not even go close enough. We were like light years away from Maya. And this is what Maya does for us. So imagine yourself being able to step into the center of Maya. Now, it's a gradual process. That's why I ask people to use the Harmonic Shield. The shield knows how far you can go. The shield is programmed to do an analysis of yourself, your life, and it will take you exactly where you can go. It will not take you any further. Because I remember when I first thought that, I've been working with all these tools, and let me download a stronger version of the 12 rays of the sun. I stick my hand literally into Asian. I got zapped by that energy. It was so strong. I almost felt like my hands got burned. So, the shield will protect you. And once you start to integrate this, your life changes. So this is the next step. If you have been working with the tools, this is your next step. And if you have not worked with the holographic tools, gradually start to work with them. Work with the sun. Get used to our sun. What I recommend is that everybody uses each one of the new tools for at least 2 weeks. Now, if you have done a lot of work with Maya, yes, then sure, you can take the next step. However, if you haven't, at least take 2 weeks. And these tracks, I actually talk less and do more processing so people can play them when they go to sleep. So gradually, as you're sleeping, you start to reconfigure your matrix, your DNA, your blueprint of humanity. You start to download information from this stellar consciousness.
So for people, if they have not worked with the first set of tools, can they still slowly integrate these, or what would be your recommendation? Because we're getting a lot of questions on that.
Absolutely. Okay. So I would say basics is the other tools, because that gives you very powerful information about what to do when you want to release, when you want to transform, when you want to rewrite your abundance matrix, health matrix. So those are tools built specifically for those. However, if you haven't done it, it's still fine. Start somewhere. Start with the sun. Get used to the sun. And I'm saying 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks, if you feel like you still want to do more work with the sun, do that. If you think you want to work 4 weeks with Maya, do that. December 21st is not your deadline. You don't have to finish everything by December 21st. So get that date out of your head. The next day, a new period for Mayan calendar starts. It's not the end. It's a new beginning. So rise above fear, rise above judgment. Doesn't matter what happens to the planet. There are many theories. From many cultures, we get many different types of information. It does not matter. When you start to work with these beings, these stars, they will tell you where you want to be. They will guide you where you need to go. You will find yourself at the right place in the right moment. Because why?
Wow.
They know when you are ready, they can bring the next generation of tools, the information, the secrets through you. So they will guide you. Maya will guide you. Asion will guide you.
So it sounds like, I mean, even if people don't have the other tools, they can start with this, and they can move forward here. And so that is very interesting. Okay, so I've got a bunch of other questions coming in for people, and I want to maybe have a few people send us a challenge that you have and your full name, and I'd like Mashhur to maybe do a little bit of work on you, some reading, so we can help a few people. I know we've got tons of people on the line. You can send them in there if you're on the webcast, and we're going to individually take about 3 people and do some things with you, and just let Mashhur do that and sort of guide. I've got another question here. For those people that feel like they just can't, like it's just not possible, or maybe they just feel so tired and so defeated. How can we, by plugging into some of these newer tools like the sun and Maya and other stars and other really just high energies so high that they just blast away any of that limitation, how can we use those on a daily basis to really transform that illusion?
See, when people step into these tools, let's say it's the sun or the Maya or Asion, even 5 minutes is great. Start your day there. Start your day with the Harmonic Shield, the rings of harmony around you and all of your issues. Then step into the center of the sun, or go to Maya. Get close enough. Absorb that information. Release density. The way you felt, and some of the other comments people made, that they felt like all their issues just melted away. And if you are here at this time on this planet, there is a purpose that you have, and it is true for everyone, every one of us. We may not have figured out, but that's why Maya and Asion are here. They will help us with our next steps. So, don't think that you're just here randomly and you don't belong. Yes, you do belong. You have a key, and there are about 7.2 billion of us running around with 7.2 pieces of this puzzle. So you fit into this puzzle.
Wow. Okay, I've got some people writing in who want to do that. Okay, we've got Lucas in Ostrava. I'm not sure where that's from. He says, Mashhur, could you please help me with my finances and to relax? Can you kind of look into where Lucas is at and see what possibly could be going on there and what that might mean and what could be done?
Sure. So I don't know if Lucas has the rings of harmony or not. Actually, you know what, Darius? How about I do this? Since this is an important time, how about I give everyone on the call and who are listening to the program live or who will listen to the recording, how about I give them the rings of harmony? What do you think?
Are you serious? I mean, that would be incredible, guys. I don't know if this has ever been done. So you're going to give everybody, you're going to basically install, is probably the word, right? Install the rings of harmony so they can actually now go to the next level with what we're doing here then.
Yes, because see, I know we have had a very special deal last time, and on my site, this actually sells for $88. So, maybe I'll make some people unhappy. However, this is important. So for everyone, those of you who agree, you'd have to say, I accept the harmonic, I accept the rings of harmony. So I will do a pattern matching for the entire group, and those of you who are saying that, I will install the rings of harmony. Okay, so let's do that. If you accept it, say, I accept the rings of harmony. And those of you who will listen to the recording, do the same. The process will happen in the same way. This is a multidimensional process. It's not restricted by space-time. So I'm installing the rings of harmony for everyone. Those of you who do not have it, now you will have it.
Wow.
So I added that to all of your profiles. So you have access to that. The only thing you need to do is say activate the rings of harmony. Write down the command. Activate the rings of harmony. When you think activate the rings of harmony, or when you call it, however you call it, think the rings of harmony. Project the rings of harmony from your consciousness, from your hand. However you want to do it, you can call this tool. So all of you have this tool now. There are thousands and thousands of people, who will be listening to this recording and who are on the call live. Use this every morning. Wake up, use the Harmonic Shield, then call in the rings of harmony around yourself, around your family members, around your home, office, job, business, retail stores, doesn't matter, your bank accounts, all issues that you have around yourself and people that you're having issues with. Doesn't matter what the disharmony is. Wherever you have a disharmony, anything that you can think of, run the rings of harmony. That's your first thing. So it is important. By doing this, you will help to create a mega shift for the entire planet, because you're changing lives. Those of you who are healers, a lot of times they ask, what type of licensing do I have? I tell them, when you have the tools from me, use it for your clients, that's fine. We are not going to an existence where everybody's separated and everybody's looking at what can I get out of somebody else. We want to go
Right.
to a place where we are all living in harmony. So there is no judgment, there is no competition. We need to rise above those. So you all have this tool. I hope you have written down, activate the rings of harmony. Calling it by default, the rings of harmony will come around you. If you want to call it for something else, say activate the rings of harmony around my home, around my spouse, around my son, my daughter, my business, my food, my water, whatever, anything that you have in the home or anything that you use the rings of harmony. Get used to this. It's important.
Wow.
So this way,
Wow.
those of you who do not have not worked with the release programs, you can start to do some heavy-duty detoxing.
Amazing. So as they go through their day, anything that they want to bring higher energy to, you can now, everyone has installed that. What's been now there in your field, you just have to say activate the rings of harmony. Now, that is an incredible gift. I want to say thank you. We have literally like 30 people just wrote in appreciation of you, Mashhur. So I got to tell you, this is so beautiful. Everyone said thank you. Another person, thank you. I can't believe this. I'm so happy. Okay, so here's my question. I've got a few people on that are having challenges that I want to deal with and see what you're reading, what you're pulling from them. One person we've got is Mary, who says, I feel like my life has never made sense. I've never really fit in. I've never really found my place. I've always felt like I'm outside or an outsider. What do you read from that, and what would you suggest, or what could be done?
Yeah, so one thing is, in our soul's journey, we have made many stops. And for you, did you say Mary or?
Mary, yes.
Mary, right. So for you, Mary, Alcyon is what you're connected to. Alcyon is one of the stars in the Pleiadian system. It's a Taurus constellation. Your soul made a stop there. You are connected into that consciousness, and you want to rise above a density, but you're not sure exactly where to go. You're kind of feeling like there's a missing piece. So use the rings of harmony around yourself and all of your lifetimes on earth, around yourself and your ancestors. Gradually detox your field so that you can receive the light from Alcyon. You can receive your purpose, your gift. So start to do that on a regular basis. Keep detoxing your field and gently start to move into Alcyon's vibration and connect with your origin. Connect with your purpose, your vision. So you don't need to feel that way anymore. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, very powerful. We've got Annette from San Juan who's saying she's got excess weight, and she's talking about how can she begin to release that? She feels like it's just been clinging to her, and she's wondering, is there anything that you're able to read or sense from that? This is Annette in San Juan.
Yeah, so use the rings of harmony around yourself and your French lifetime during the French Revolution and the, what do they call it, the Dark Age, around those time, like 14, 15, 1600s, between 1300s and 1600s. So use it around yourself and your connection to France. First of all, a lot of things happen there. Second is start to use the vision board, disconnecting all issues with weight. Disconnect from all people who are struggling with weight. And you want to move into a space, so you want to donate extra energy stored in your body as weight. You don't want to lose weight because, that's why most people are not successful in weight transformation. When you say, I lost weight, your brain does a pattern matching and brings up all the memories about what happened when you lost your car keys, your purse, your wallet, your book, your bag, whatever. And it comes to the conclusion that losing is bad, lost and found. So you never want to lose weight. You never want to think about weight that way. You want to donate weight. You want to donate extra weight that you have stored in your body as energy. You want to donate it to countries where people don't have food. Donate it to nature so that nature can take that energy and use it for the highest benefit. So get into that vibration every time you eat. Make the intention. Your body would only absorb what it needs. Anything else that you have goes to other countries. Pick a country in the world where you want to donate food. Do a little bit of research. That way it's more personal to you. So start donating extra weight. Make that switch. This way you can make a new mapping for your brain that says, weight is no longer an issue. I maintain perfect health and wellness. And I maintain the energy that I need. I release extra energy stored in my body as weight. It's a simple switch.
Amazing. I've got one more that I want to read out, and one more person that may be having a challenge. A bunch more coming in. A lot of people writing in, very excited and actually ready to go even farther than the Rings of Harmony. So this is very exciting. It's almost as if we've created a whole other space for something bigger, doing some of those meditations. Karen from Sweden said, my intuition has grown, but my mind and body do not listen. So I procrastinate, I self-destruct, and I keep falling again and again. So for Karen, Karin, in Sweden, is there anything coming in or anything that we can do with some of the solar matrix or the Maya matrix integration or the Alcyon matrix integration to help her?
Yeah, first thing is release some of the densities that has to do with World War I and II. I don't know your history, but there's some density around those timelines. So rings of harmony around yourself and World War I. All the countries, all options, all people, places that are connected into World War I. So you're going to run the rings of harmony around yourself and all of those issues. Rings of harmony around yourself and World War II. Some of the depression is coming from those wars. And anything, let's do this. So I'm going to connect you with every single one of your lifetimes, and I'm going to create a network with the rings of harmony around every one of your lifetimes on Earth. And everybody else, it's happening with your own issues also. Anybody who's connected to any type of war, destruction, anger, depression, fear, judgment. So you're all taking part. And let's connect you and all of your issues about war, about chaos, about confusion, about judgment, about the feeling of not good enough. And use the rings of harmony. Let the rings of harmony continuously run for the next 7 days for you. And also for you, work with the sun a lot. When you are done with the sun, done meaning when you think you're ready to go to Maya, integrate information from Maya. A lot of healing energy from Maya can come to you for transformation. All right.
Well, I just want to read a few things coming in. A lot of people. Mashhur, you're a truly amazing person. Thank you for showing us and having the heart to live and assist us in the universe. You're truly magical. Darius, thank you once again. Another person said, thank you, Mashhur, for helping us to grow, to go further. Oh, my God, Mashhur, I felt pressure on the top of my head. Release. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A lot of people have been feeling instantaneous release, awakening. A lot of people are just so grateful for everything you've done. And I want to really kind of stretch everybody and ask you, Mashhur, when we talk about ascension and moving into some of these higher level realms, why is that an important thing to do now going forward? Because we've all now have the rings of harmony installed, and it's almost as if I don't even know if you expected to do that, but I think that the development of ourselves is moving so quickly that it's now time for us to just go to the next phase of our development. Why is that important?
You see, Earth's energy started to change since the 80s. Around 87, 88, then around 2004, Earth made major shifts. And whenever Earth makes a huge shift, guess what? There are natural disasters. These disasters also open up people's lower chakras so that they release density and they can keep up with the planet. The planet is moving forward and the planet is become multidimensional. That's why we need to go with the planet, because if the variation is, beyond a certain threshold, it creates a lot of disharmony and chaos for us. So that's why, we are all talking about ascension. See, ascension, it's a simple process. It doesn't have to be complicated. Once your field is clean, purified, you release all density, and your physical, etheric, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies are in harmony, and they are pure. They vibrate with a stronger light. It's a gradual and natural process for you. It's a simple thing where your body holds so much light that your cells can no longer contain that, and you become pure energy. You move beyond 3D, 4D space-time. That's the process. Now, that's a science that the technology is using the holographic tools and now using these stellar consciousness, these beings, so that you can use their guidance, use their energy, and rise above where you are to that point. So since Earth is moving forward, we also want to keep up, and we want to move with the planet. We want to move to a higher plane with the planet. That's why it's important. So it's not a process of fear, but it's a process that's supposed to be joyful. We've been in density for so long now, we want to move more into purity.
Yeah, I feel that, and I totally get and understand, and I think everyone does too, exactly what you're doing here. Because for you to give people the rings of harmony is saying, look, there's another energy, we're going to go beyond now, and it's time. The awakening is right here in your hands. Let's take it together and connect to these new Earth's energies. So these energies that we're now being able to connect to, these are the ones that are coming to the Earth. So we would be literally some of the first people to connect to these energies, correct?
Absolutely. See, these are not on my website. It has been released through your program. The solar matrix, Maya matrix, Alcyon matrix, Orion matrix, the Great Central Sun matrix. Nobody has them. I don't have them on my website. So, sometimes people ask me that, oh, is there a special date? Can I get,
Yes.
I don't even have this on my site. So it's only through these programs. And I know, your office just received the files like around 3, 4, 5 in the morning, because I was working a lot with integrating these vibrations. It took a while to, get everything in place. So these are brand new. They were completed today. So that's one thing. You want to move beyond what we know. You want to move beyond our 3D, 4D space-time, and this is your next step. So the
Wow.
process of ascension or fifth dimension, whenever you're ready, you're not going to ascend on the 21st of December. That's not your goal. Your goal is to live a happy, fulfilling life. So when you move to a higher plane, you can look back and know that everything was perfect. That's the vibration you want to generate in you. So you have nothing that would create disharmony for you. So that's why you want to move into or work with these stellar beings so that you can absorb and integrate that vibration and you can live your life from that level of consciousness.
Well, I want to talk about some of the new energies and what you put together. I know working and downloading this late, we haven't had a lot of time to really talk about it on the call because it literally is that fresh. Tell me about what is in the work that you downloaded recently and a little bit about each piece and who it might be for, really, because I know it's incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. So the first tool I have, and when people think about the order, how they want to use them, you go by by the order, the way you see it on the website. So item number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are your next 5 steps. So the first one is integrating the solar matrix. Some of the ascended masters, and some of you know about Enoch, the Book of Enoch, the Book of Knowledge. He left a lot of information for humanity embedded in the consciousness of the sun. So all of that information is in this program. So solar matrix integration brings you your next steps for evolution to leave from a 12 chakra system and to rise above neutrality or rise above duality into neutrality and non-judgment. So you want to work with the sun, you want to integrate the sun's energy into yourself tremendously so that gradually you can start to hold and integrate a fifth dimensional light matrix. You start the process of ascension. See, ascension is a science, it's technology. It's a spiritual process, it's a process of awakening. So the solar matrix will start the process, and it's for everyone. Anybody who wants to work with the higher plane, anybody who wants to go anywhere now, it's for you. Now the next step is Maya. Once you're done or once you've worked enough with the sun, you want to work with Maya. Now here's something I want to mention, that each one of these audio recordings are embedded with layers and layers and layers of holograms. So you will not run out of things to install and integrate. Every time you listen, you will get something that's new. Your consciousness will receive that. So once you're done working with the sun for at least 2 weeks, move to Maya. Maya is about your next steps, your guidance, new ideas, options. And you're seeing what happened when you just touched Maya. Earlier today we did that integration, a little bit of Maya's energy. So imagine the full potential of Maya. Maya is extremely important when it comes to healing, restoration, rejuvenation, youth, and vitality. Maya holds some of those energies. So that's Maya matrix integration.
I want to tell people a little bit about where all the different levels are that they can begin looking at, because we're going to be going through some of this. This is the newest work for 2012 for where we're at right now, and it's at uwealthrevolution.com/awaken, AWAKEN. That's uwealthrevolution.com/awaken, like awaken, AWAKEN, like when you awaken from sleep. And I think that's incredibly fitting for what we're doing here. So there's the solar matrix integration, and then we talked about the Maya matrix integration. So this is really when we can radiate energy from the Maya for healing, what happens in our life and in the lives of others?
See, your transformation can be instantaneous. People who are healers, people who want to heal different parts of their lives, Maya holds a key piece of information for you. Maya holds the energy for healing, youth, vitality, rejuvenation, restoration, moving beyond our normal space-time and moving beyond the limitation of our physical bodies. You want to integrate Maya very well. Ideally, you want to get through Sun and Maya by the end of this month so that you can hold this not only for yourself and your families and your friends, but for your cities, your communities, your countries, and for the planet. The more people using and holding this vibration, we can make it an easier shift. See how intense this shift is going to be. It has to do with our collective consciousness. When we rise above a certain threshold of density, and together when we hold this field for humanity and the planet, our shift can be like that millennium bug we had, the 2000 bug we had. Everybody was scared, but the next day, everything was in harmony. That's where we want to go. Yes, there could be tsunamis. Yes, there could be earthquakes. Yes, there could be 5 days of darkness if the Mayan prophecy is true. Or there could be a quad polar shift from a bipolar shift, according to some other theories. It doesn't matter. We will find out. But regardless of what happens, stay and hold your space. Hold that alignment for yourself, and you will start to radiate that information out to the planet. So the planet will receive that. Humanity and all life on Earth will receive this. So when thousands of people come together and can hold the harmony of Maya and ASEAN, the shift can be more harmonious.
Beautiful. I see this now really as something we can do not only for ourselves, but it's for others as well. There's another piece here, item 3, and it's the ASEAN. I'm saying that matrix integration.
I know it's written with an L, but the way the sound comes from the other side, the L is not pronounced, so it's actually ASEAN. Now, ASEAN and Maya, they're close. They are both in the Taurus system, Taurus constellation. A lot of people know about the Pleiadian open cluster. So these are 2 Pleiadian stars. ASEAN is the brightest one. Maya is the 4th brightest one in that system. So ASEAN has the information about your long-term goals, your vision, your soul purpose. And people who work with different rays like the violet rays and other rays, ASEAN's integration will make that so much stronger for you. Your healing ability, your manifestation, your transformation energy will, exponentially increase working with ASEAN. It also holds a holographic blueprint for our new Earth, our new humanity and the planet. So gradually, as we integrate ASEAN, we move into that space. We help not only ourselves, we help our families, friends, our cities, countries, and the planet. And the other thing is, ASEAN's energy is very playful. It's not like the sun. It's different. When you really start to work with ASEAN, you'll have so much fun. It holds so much joy. It's completely different. So it's, play with it and have fun with it.
The other frequency that you have here deals with magic, and it's a very powerful frequency. I want to talk about that and what that might do in our lives, pure magic and alchemy, unlocking that. And that's the Orion matrix. I've heard a lot about that from some real high-level people. It's the first time I've ever seen it just here to be integrated. Tell me about what that can do.
Yeah, see, Orion is... it's a constellation. However, when we talk about Orion's belt, there are 3 very powerful stars, and those are the 3 stars you see in the thumbnail. See, I have a very special designer who brings in these rays from the stars, and just by looking at them, you can absorb some of that vibration. So once you start to work with Orion, you start to transcend your space-time. You start to fully integrate and embody ascension vibration. For this part of our universe, Orion holds ascension vibration. I remember discussing about that. I don't know if that was our very first call or the second call, but I was talking about ascension is a process, and we need to embody Orion's vibration for this.
Yes.
So Orion is pure crystalline energy. Think about unicorn. Think about magic, manifestation, alchemy. All of these are connected to Orion. You know, it's almost like unicorn's vibration. It's a magical place. You know, it's filled with all types of information and instantaneous manifestation. So however you perceive magic and alchemy, that's Orion. And Orion, for us, holds a lot of information about our origin. A lot of us, a lot of our souls came through Orion. A lot of the pyramids are pointed towards Orion. A lot of the Native American stories, like the Hopis and others, they talk about Orion as our, as a star people, or as our origin. So you want to get into that vibration. You want to hold that vibration, and that is embodying ascension vibration for you. When you can fully embody Orion, you hold ascension vibration. And Orion is very powerful for healing of our soul groups from our soul separation.
So if someone is having a challenge in life, how can that Orion energy help them to transcend or ascend beyond that? I mean, is it effectual in our day-to-day life of sort of the challenges of life, or is it beyond even that?
You see, for me, every time I bring in Orion's light, instantaneously, I kind of feel like everything from myself, all issues, just disappear. And, you know, Orion has that feeling. When you can fully embody Orion, you're not really going to have challenges, because you can face issues, but they're just issues. They're not problems. So you don't, your perception changes. You look at things as, okay, this happened, what can I do, what lessons can I learn, and how can I transform? That's how you would start to think, as opposed to going into density. Automatically, your vibration becomes so high that people around you will know it. When you hold Orion's vibration, people will know you.
Interesting. That is amazing. I think of just like a bright star, sort of as coming radiating through your vibration. Well, I've got to ask about this, because the other thing that you're doing, Mashhur, this time that is pretty amazing is item 5, which is the Great Central Sun Matrix. And what would this do for someone? I mean, really on the personal level of their day-to-day life, what would integrating with the Great Central Sun and the encoded holographic matrices of that sun do in someone's life?
Yeah, so for the universe, you know, Great Central Sun is, this is the central sun in the universe, and it holds the strongest light. So when energy information came from the source plane, it was the birth of the central sun. When all religious talking about breathing life into the universe, that was the birth of the central sun. From there, using the Fibonacci sequence and preserving the golden ratio, all life, all planets, all consciousness were formed. Light and sound created the physical and non-physical realms. Now, when you start to connect and integrate the energy of Great Central Sun, here I brought in the frequency of Golden Alpha, Golden Phi, Golden Omega, and Golden Infinity. Alpha is the frequency of beginning. When you start something new, bring in the Golden Golden Alpha. Start a process. Golden Phi, that's considered as the divine ratio, because you can find it everywhere. You can read more about it. Golden Phi is the ratio of change, transformation. So when you are embodying that, you can make, let's say, a rule for yourself that just because you notice something, the Golden Phi will transform disharmony into harmony. You can hold that vibration. You can use Golden Phi to transform anything in life. And then golden omega is to complete the process. Then the golden infinity is like a binding contract or the harmonization process of all of these 4 frequencies. So from the central sun, you receive these 4 very, very powerful frequencies that had to do with the creation matrix of everything. So your manifestation abilities become stronger. It becomes very, 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 very strong.
Wow. Oh, this is incredible. I want to get now to the next piece, item 6. It's this guy's, just so you can review, it's very, it's the most cutting edge stuff I've ever seen. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/awaken, AWAKEN. And item 6 is actually restoring inner harmony and global harmony. And this is really about, I think from what I'm reading, and everyone can read along, detaching from chaos so that our manifestation actually increases exponentially. Tell me a little bit about that, Mashhur, or anything I'm missing.
Yeah, so this is a holographic program, and those people who are familiar with holographic tools and programs that I brought forward through the last call or the last few calls, you would recognize this. Now, these are actually 2 different programs, Restore Inner Harmony and Restore Global Harmony. To make it easier, I combine both of them as one. I do the installation for both of these instead of having them as separate programs, because our inner and global harmony is, they're both connected. Our inner harmony creates and projects our external harmony. Our inner disharmony would project an external disharmony. So you want to work with this program, and what this is going to do is it will rewrite your matrix of harmony. The way I brought Restore Inner Abundance program last time, which is used by a lot of computer companies, garment industries, that with fabulous results. Restore Inner Harmony is a very similar program to Restore Inner Abundance, but it has to do with rewriting the disharmony that you hold and create a 5th-dimensional matrix of harmony. So you want to create harmony for yourself. You want to create harmony for the planet. So what I ask people to do is, use it for yourself the way you would use it, and also use it for the planet, because it would mirror, your inner harmony or disharmony would mirror into the world. So you want to hold it for yourself and the planet. And when you are in that space of harmony and neutrality and non-judgment, you can rise above everything else and detach from what is not beneficial for you very easily. You don't fall into density. If something happens around you, you don't get chaotic. You take a look and you take a step back and you realize what happened, what is the lesson, what can I learn from it, and how can I move forward. So your being holds harmony. So that's why this is another very important program, or 2 programs, so you can restore inner and global harmony. And this is actually very important for me, because when I was told my purpose, I was told that restore harmony. So that's what I bring in. I bring in the process to create harmony for yourself and the planet. That is my goal. That is my vision. So restore inner harmony and restore global harmony can be used to create harmony for the new world.
Wow, very powerful. Okay, I've got another question here dealing with one of the other sections, and I want to take any questions people have. Wow. Another said, thank you very much about Alcyon. I've been holding space to help with this dream statement that I've had, and I'm just tickled. I love you both beyond infinity. Well, yeah, this is incredible. You've also decided you're going to do something else for people that is a hugely powerful thing, which is a 2-hour live coaching call to help people understand their guided journeys, question and answers about the ascension process, and much, much more. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's funny. Last time, I set up, I think, 2 calls, and in the end, I ended up doing 5. We talked about that. because so many people were getting these programs. I felt that it would be important for me to give everybody or most people a chance to be live in the call. And I remember one of the calls actually ran, the very first one actually ran 5 hours because there were so many questions. I never get tired or bored when people ask questions about how they can use these tools to transform lives. So these two are, this coaching call is designed to help people to work with these tools and to answer questions. So a lot of things can come up, a lot of new options, possibilities can come up for you, and anything else that you have, that you're facing, and you have a question about it, people can ask live questions, and I also do some processing in the calls based on the group energy. So it's a fun way to get more exposed and get more idea about what else can you do, how else can you use the tools, and how can you rise above limitations. So the holographic tools and programs are built in a way they are adaptive. So you can make them, even if I don't say use it this way, you can find innovative ways of using them. So you can always learn from others and learn from other people's questions that, this is how this person is using it. I can do the same. So it's an awesome and fun way to spend a few hours and go beyond possibilities.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you again where it says uwealthrevolution.com/awaken, AWAKEN. And I want to take any questions people have. I want to say this whole package, Mashhur, you're so generous. It's literally everything here. I'm going to check the price. It's a $1,100 program. It's actually $1,200. You're offering for 92% off. It's $97, and people can try it. And I don't want to say try it because obviously that's almost like implying you're not going to do it, but you can use it. You can bring it into your life. You can activate these energies and downloads. And if it's not for you, you have 30 days, and we just don't deny you the chance to refund if you're not happy. So we wanted to do something with Mashhur that was beyond what I'd ever seen, and really his newest powerful downloads to bridge you to the fifth dimension, and all of that's included here. Let me see if we have any questions from anybody about the package. John is asking, does this come in the mail, or can I start using this right now? Mashhur, is this coming in the mail, or is this instant?
No, people actually download it right from your site. So these are downloadable PDFs and MP3s. So each program would come with a PDF with some brief description about the program and what this is about. And then the MP3 recording actually has all the information about processing and activation, and that's why I have encoded all the information and messages, so that the more you listen to these recordings, you can play them overnight if you want. You can play them in a loop, like if you have an iPhone or an iPod dock, you can keep playing them all night long. So these are all digital products. We are green, so they're all digital.
Yes.
You download them instantaneously. They are fifth dimensional, so you don't want to get stuck with a three-dimensional CD. So we are moving beyond that. They're all fifth dimensional products, so they have to be digital. They have to be you need to be able to download them right away. Have fun with them.
Yeah. Well, another question that's coming in: can someone listen too much? This is from Susan. Can someone listen too much, or is it possible that they could get too much from these?
So here's what I ask, that people who are very sensitive, watch how you respond. So that's why I say, use the solar matrix for 2 weeks. See how you respond.
Okay.
If a lot of information comes up, go easy with it, because they will bring up a lot of core issues as they transform them. So if you're very sensitive, don't play every single one of them in a loop the very first night. That's not recommended. Go easy on them. Start with the solar matrix. See how you feel. After a week, if you feel like, you want to add Maya, that's fine too. There is no restriction. I recommend you use them at least for 2 weeks. But, if you want to do a little more after a week, that's fine. At least use Solar Matrix for 1 week and see how your body responds. If you use it at night and if you see that you're too energized, maybe you want to use it in the morning or some other part of the day so you don't stay up all night. So see how your body interacts, but go easy on them because they are very, very powerful.
Okay. Well, I've got another question here from, it looks like it's Susan, and she's asking, can any of this help with some health challenges that I've had? It seems like I keep getting sick and I can't stay healthy. I'm wondering if I have a lower vibration entity or some sort of she's calling it like a disincarnate. I'm sure you know what that is, like a disincarnate entity that's kind of maybe stuck around her field, making her sick. Is that kind of beyond the scope of this, or is that just, or are we so high up that those things will just fly away when we really plug into this energy?
Yeah, so when you start to integrate, when you move beyond the sun, when you start to work with Maya, usually most people would feel that shift, but for you, I do have a tool to bring in lessons and release entities. I'm going to run that for you and your home and a mile radius, for a mile radius around your home. So I will help to set up that process. Let me just do that now so that all these entities can leave. So I don't like to push them away. What I like to do is bring in the lessons so they have no reason for staying here. It's like giving them the solutions that they can go home. There's a reason why they're here, so they don't need to hang out anymore. Just give them the lessons so they can go home. So, yeah, so, that's one thing. The other thing is start to disconnect from all these morphic field connections.
Morphic. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
If you're not sure, and this is for everybody, if you're not sure which morphic fields you're connected into, look at what you're saying. Look at all the I can'ts or what doesn't work. Those are the morphic fields. Disconnect from them and connect with other morphic fields that hold solutions for you. So do that. If you have the rings of harmony, use it around yourself, your home, so entities and other type of attachments can be released.
Okay, I'm going to take a few more questions. We've got a lot coming in. I'm going to remind people that uwealthrevolution.com/awaken, AWAKEN. This is amazing. Okay, so we've got another question. Let's see. One big one is one simple question. Can someone use this with headphones or should they just listen?
Either way, it's fine. If you want to go deeper, you can use headphone. Now, I wouldn't recommend a noise canceling headphone because you want to listen to everything. You can play it in the background also all day long, but don't drive or operate heavy machineries. When you listen to them, the PDF files will tell you that because they bring in very high amount of energy, and if you're not used to them, you can fall asleep. So yes, use it with your headphones or use it without. See how they work best for you. Personalize.
Okay, we've got another question, Mr. I know we're going long, but it's from, I just saw it, it's from Mark in Chicago. And again, it's really about, for people that are wondering how this is different from the other program you had, and also whether they can use this program if they don't have the other program, how this would fit in. Maybe just explain that one more time. I know you've installed the Rings of Harmony right now, so that is one huge piece of that. Again, for those people that don't have the other program you offered, is this something they can integrate right now, and is it sort of like jumping ahead in essence, or is it just going in a different vibration, or how would you describe it for people?
Well, this is like your next step. So the Rings of Harmony certainly will help in a tremendous way, and that's why I wanted to do this for people, because I understand a lot of people are new and who are not familiar with the holographic tools, so they don't have the other tools. Now, these don't replace them. because see, in the other programs you have programs targeted to releasing shame, guilt, betrayal. There are the different type of holographic programs.
Okay.
So here what you want to do is gradually encode and embody ascension vibration. So for that, you need to go through these steps. You need to integrate the Sun, Maya, Ascian, and Orion. So that's the primary goal for these programs. However, while doing them, you can rise above other disharmonies. But if you have the other tool, you can certainly use them to transform things faster. Because it's like, you know how you have an all-purpose cleaner and then you have a glass cleaner, one for the tiles, one for the car. So those are specialized. The holographic tools and programs, they're also specialized so that you can release and transform different type of energy. This is your next step. So even if you don't have those, this is fine, but go easy on them. Don't start with the central sun. Start with the sun. Start with the first item.
Wow. You know, it's kind of like it's just good energy, you know. So I mean, it's good energy, and it's going to rise you above anything that's limiting. And I've got to think this is almost, in essence, it's kind of like, you know, the newest upgrade. I mean, you could go from, you know, Windows 95 to 96 to 97 to 98 to 99 to 2008 or 2012, and you could go that progression, or you just go maybe straight to 2012, and you still have all the benefits of 2012 without going through that whole sequence. Now, for people that want to go through that, I assume they could do that too. But one of the things I love about you, Mashhur, is you've literally given people the Rings of Harmony, which was a part of the other program, so they have that already now. Another question that just came in from I think it was Robin. Yeah, Robin. And I may have answered it for her, but I want to be sure. She was asking for members of her family. Like if she buys this, and let's say she has kids, does she need to get a separate program for her kids, or can they all listen to this? So meaning, does one purchase work for like the whole family?
Yeah, so I'm not really into those charging separate licensing and all kinds of complicated
That's right. Okay.
structuring.
Yeah.
So by default, every holographic tools and programs I have, when people purchase, by default they're enabled for all the family members living in the same household. So you have them. Once you have them, you know, play them in the background. These are different. These are not specific tools or programs, so you don't need to activate them the way, you know, or install them the way I have done with the other tools. So you can just play them in the background. Your family can receive the benefits. If you have a party, play one of them in the background. You know, you don't have to blast it, but you know, just play at a very low volume and watch what happens.
What if you're at work and you're working kind of a negative office, or there's just a lot of drama there? I mean, could you just kind of leave it barely playing at your desk and just see what happens?
Absolutely. The other thing also, when you play classical music, the density of the environment changes. Beethoven, Mozart, even if you play like the Baroque period, Bach, those music would create harmony. So you can play those music, you can play the solar integration, start with the solar one, let people get used to them, because the vibration is something that people are going to receive. They don't have to hear what I'm saying, but it's the vibration that is encoded on the audio programs. So yes, everybody will receive the benefit.
Wow. If you have a family member that maybe is not that conscious, or maybe not yet that conscious, and they listen, or you let it play in your house, can it help them?
Absolutely. I mean, I have seen so much transformation for my own family members and friends. At one point I was feeling like, their energy is dense, and I just can't be around them. But being around some of these programs, they actually changed. So now their energy field is, they hold much higher vibration, and it's fun to be around them. So gradually you help them transform also.
Well, I know we've had a lot of people with family members and children where they worry. Helen, yes, if you buy the package at uwealthrevolution.com/awaken, AWAKEN, you can share it with your sister, excuse me. Mashhur does not believe in, making sure that you get a license for your sister. He's really wants to get this out to so many people. Daphne from New York City said, I feel lightheaded, and it's because of this energy. It's like it's just gradually happening. I feel the energy coming in and seeping in. Mashhur, any final words to the group? I know we've gone long. I know we've done a lot. Anything that you feel for the group or anything you want to share with the group? I know you've already shared so much, but any final thoughts?
Well, one thing I will say is for each one of the programs, for each one of the new programs, I followed a very similar structure about how I bring in the energy so people can get used to the idea. So when you start to integrate them, and if you feel like you want to connect with some other stars also, you can follow the same process. You can absorb their information, their vibration. But the main thing is rise above fear, rise above judgment, rise above all disharmony. It doesn't matter what happens outside of you over the next few months. Next 3 to 6 months can create a lot of chaos and disharmony until things settle down. It doesn't matter what's outside of you. Disconnect from them. There's a lot of talk about, as I mentioned, quadrupolar shift. A lot of talk about how Mayans are talking about 5 days of darkness, and then the sun rises. So it doesn't matter. We will find out exactly what happens, but we will create what happens. Our collective consciousness will determine how harmonious this shift is going to be for us. And you'll find yourself, in the right place, in the right time. So have fun with the tools. These are not for, something that's heavy. These are not for, staying in 3D. Have fun with them. Rise above all of those fear, judgment, and just have fun. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the process.
Yeah, wow. I do feel that fun and that excitement and that lightness and that possibility of really going almost, I want to say astral and beyond the lower density vibrations and connecting to those high frequencies. And I think that's the big part of this, is that this is fun and this is an amazing way to just really shift your life. So, Mashhur, thank you for coming back and being here. I know we're going to have you back. I know there's more to do. There's much more to share, to give, to open people up to. And thank you for allowing us to have the Rings of Harmony. I've never had anyone do that before. Deb said, this is an amazing session. I feel the Rings of Harmony almost viscerally in me and all my bodies. A deep, permanent serenity has come over me. This is from just today. Everything seems clear to me now, and I'm ready for the ascension piece. This is amazing. 1,000 blessings. Anyone else that's feeling anything with the Rings of Harmony or just any thoughts, send them in. Mashhur, much love, my friend. Thank you for your journey, for what you do, and just giving us these amazing gifts and tools.
You're welcome, Darius. Thank you for opening the door for all of us, to create global harmony. I know you've been doing this for a number of years, and the work you do for the planet, for people, it's amazing. And, you created a huge network of people who really and genuinely want to help. So, we are going to do this together, and we're going to rise above all judgment, all issues, and, we will stay connected, and it's going to be fine.